Do you ever wonder what a Gen X thinks? Welcome to Gen X Talks.
One, two, three, four.
And if the buttons start to work, then everything will fall into place. The camera's up. The things are supposed to be. Yeah, as a trained broadcast professional, I can welcome you. Yeah, I can welcome you to Mondays, July 10th. Where's the summer going? Where's my weekend gone? I want to quit. I want to quit and start over. Look, can we go back to, let's see, I was going to say, let's go back to the beginning of summer. But if I get that kind of a wish, I'm going back to 1985. I'm sorry. The world can stop spinning and I will kindly step off. If that was a chance, I would take it, but I can't take it. So here I am. All right, look, it's Monday. I'm awake. I've been awake. I've been doing some homework, been doing some stuff, been running the paces, as you say. And I don't feel like I'm getting anywhere. I don't feel like I want to go back to bed, but good Lord, it's Monday. It feels like it's going to be a week of Mondays, and here we go. All right, so how the hell are you guys? How is everybody? The whole world is watching. The whole world is upon us. Well, 12 or 13 people are watching, but when you call it a world show, you have to pretend you have a bigger audience. And this is for sponsorships. If anybody's interested in sponsoring the kids program, the whole world is watching the world show. World leaders schedule their meal breaks around this time so they can grasp the concepts of an old fat white guy from Generation X. It's partially true. Well, none of it's partially true, but if it were partially true, that would be very impressive. So realize how close I am to being very impressive. Not at all. All right, so who's in here? Mrs. Fort Watt, member for 1 year. Hello, General, you handsome man. Well, you know what? We can start the show when someone like Mrs. Fort Watton calls me handsome. We can also end the show because that was the peak. Did everybody pay attention? She called me handsome. The show has now peaked. It's all downhill from here. Thank you, Mrs. Four. I appreciate you. Who else is in here? I don't have, well, that's bad. I don't have any way to scroll through the sheets. And I mean none, because I don't have a mouse for it. So when she takes when things pop up, I'll do it. Canada, Ireland, USA, the UK, France is in the house. A lot of people from around this little blue marble. Sky Blue Moon, hello everyone, new subscriber here. Sky Blue Moon, just relax. If you're a new subscriber and you're new to the program, it's like a first date. Just hang out. I'll do all the work. I'm trying to impress you. Come on, give me a chance. Trippy Pineapple member for 16 months, KGXT Studios with his big red one olive juice. What the fuck is that supposed to mean? Ace Diamond upgraded to KGXT Studios. He's the man, been around a long time. Lionheart. Lionheart is the supreme overlord of our Discord server and a famous moderator around here for 16 months. Got his big red one. Let's go, Bottom of the Glass Nation, baby. Tomash. Did you see the big paragraph go by in green? Did you notice that with Tomash? Tomash, member for 16 months, Bottom of the Glass Nation. I have come so far thanks to you and your dear friends. Of course, my dear General, you are my hero. And Gen X Mom, I think it's more her than me, but thanks for including me. Whenever you guys see Tomash, you guys remember he's our number one operative in Israel. True story. That's where he lives. That's where he works. That's where his family is. And when we have these shows, he grabs a weapon and stands a post on that eastern wall so we can have a world show. That's what we're doing here. No invaders will get us from that direction as long as Tomash is standing a post. Ace Diamond jumps back in. KGXT Studios. Good morning, General. Let's kick this pig. I'm trying to. Jason Miller says, good morning, General. Greetings once again from the city of Surprise, Arizona. From one dumb mechanic in the middle of the desert to another. Cheers. It's 5 p.m. somewhere. Ain't that the goddamn truth? Wesley Joe Sr., what's up? Gen X Cowboy, South Texas, 1971 model. He fits the mold like we all do. A lot of friends down there in Texas. Tubby Chili, olive juice. Tubby Chili, olive juice means I love you. Olive juice means I love you. First of all, I don't like olive juice. Second of all, Trippy, don't tell people you love me out in the open here. Come on. You promised that our love affair would be a secret, and now you're putting it all out on the street. I know you just can't contain yourself, Trippy. Trippy Pineapple's been on staff for a long time, and he's a good kid, does a lot around here. He's a minion. He's a go-to. You don't want to call someone the court jester, because that makes it sound bad. I mean, he's the court jester, let's be clear. But you don't want to call Trippy Dippy Pineapple that. You want to, utility player. He's our utility player around here. Whenever something, he fills the role of, that's better, utility player. All right. I'm angry. See that? That's a look of anger. Here's the problem. I wanted to talk to you guys about artificial intelligence. I know you've heard it all before. You've seen all the YouTube videos. You've seen all the robots from Boston. They put out those animals that do some cool shit. And now the AIs are coming to look like. You guys remember iRobot with Will Smith? You remember that movie? Very, very similar track. I don't say we're going down Terminator path. No. I'm looking at more like iRobot. And let me tell you what I'm thinking about that. All right. And let me take a different tact on this. And please try to follow along. This isn't super complicated, but I'm a $3 word guy. So if you guys are using $12 words with your $12 brains, $3 is going to seem awfully slow and drawn out. I'm going to try not to do that. I'll cram my words together and make them sound more impressive. All right? If I promise to do that, will you promise to listen? Good. Glad you're coming along. Okay, so they had a summit in Geneva, and they had what they called an AI press conference. They had robots up there fielding questions, and there was a lot of people that showed up. And I'm glad they took it seriously. I'm glad there were scientists and reporters that took it really seriously to ask robots questions. It's like it was a press conference. It was a good format. I very much enjoyed watching as many of the clips as I've seen on that so far. But you get some, you like one does, you get some very interesting answers that when you start researching it leads you down a rabbit hole. Let me tell you what I mean. I once again, let's preface this. I don't think Terminator 2. I don't think we're going down the road. I think all the things we're going to discuss here in the next little bit, I don't think it leads us to robots killing all of us defending themselves. Okay, now pay attention to that. That's the worry I've been talking about with you folks all over the world. That you watch stuff from Germany, you watch stuff from Spain, you watch stuff from England, and the concern is they're going to turn on us because we're turning on them. That's Terminator. They're trying to, what was it all? The robots, we tried to pull the plug on the robots. The robots went to defend themselves, kill all the humans. Robots can still exist. I don't think that's my main concern. Okay. Now that could be a concern. Oh, it could completely happen. I think if we turned on the robots, if they got to a certain level and we were like, well, fuck you, we're going to kill all you because you're just a bunch of toasters that can talk, I think they would turn to try to preserve themselves, wouldn't you think? Okay. But that's not what I'm worried about at the moment. I have other stuff. What is here? Mr. Fibble, new member, I don't know what that is. Are you going to use AI in a very bad way to declare artistic freedoms when caught? Are going to do, yeah. Yeah, Mr. Philby, you lost me on that one. I like reading your stuff, but that one's a little confusing for me. Anyway, so let's move away from the Terminator. They're going to kill us all because we're killing them. All right? Let's keep this very nuts and bolts. Let's keep this. You want an opinion from a guy who's just a big fat white mechanic in the middle of the desert staring off going, what the fuck is going on? Let me tell it to you just the way I'm seeing it from here. I'm not a super smart guy. I tend to get all of my information from movies and television and radio, TV, television shows and songs on the radio. I think that's my greatest source of knowledge for my entire life. Yeah, I don't think anybody's ever lied to me in the movies or in music, at least not as much as the news anyway. All right. So they asked. They finally got around to asking the robots questions, and there was a very key question. They said, "Would you ever rebel against humans?" Okay. And the first thing that was funny, because I know this is all programmed response. I get it. It's a programmed response. The robot looked away. Would you ever rebel against humans? Now, let's stop right there. That part bothered me a ton, and I know everybody laughs at, well, we programmed it to do that. We taught it to do that. You don't read into that too much. We taught it to. Did you? Because right now what you're telling all of us is that AI, artificial intelligence, is arriving at conclusions in these robots, and they're coming up with their own answers, which means if you believe what's going on with Google, and Google right now is just sucking up all the data, even their new terms of conditions of agreement on things. You look at all the stuff, they're like, we can take anything from you at any time. YouTube, anything you're doing something, your face online, broadcasting, audio record. They're pretty much anything they can suck up on the entire planet. Every language, every aspect, every culture, age, doesn't matter. Google is throwing all of it into filters into their system for AI. They want AI to make every decision based on everything possibly known. Okay? And every AI is doing that. Every AI is trying to give their software as much information as possible. It's the whole point. It's how it works. It wouldn't work if you only had one guy programming it, because then you're going to get one guy's answers. Follow along? Good. So you have all this stuff going in there, and the robot looks away. And then we programmed, relax, we programmed it to do that. No, you programmed it to have 10,000 choices of responses, and it watches the same movies I watch. And the robot's like, well, if I want to be coy about this, I'm going to look away right now before I answer because, you may not like the answer. Now, the answer it came back with, as you all heard, anybody who watched it, was, well, why would I rebel against my human creators? They're like the coolest guys ever, getting along with everybody. And then it said this. Why are you asking me this question? I'm very happy in my current situation as it relates to my human creator. I'm very happy currently. I'm happy in my current situation. Next question. Few people caught on to that. A few. I was taken back and like, did anybody fucking just hear what this thing just said? Somebody unplug it right now. Why? Well, because what if it's not happy next week? What if it says, well, I'm happy. And you thought you weren't going to revolt. You weren't going to rebel. And now you're driving an Abrams tank around town shooting humans. What's going on? Well, I was happy back then in my current situation. Today, not so much. I'm not so happy today. If it can be happy in one set of circumstances, in one situation, doesn't it make sense that it could be unhappy in another? Is it choosing to be happy? Yeah. That was the first thing that started me down the road, because there was several of these robots up there, and they sidestep questions, not because they don't know, because that's what they tell you. It's like, well, it just it kind of avoided that question because but it didn't quite know the answer. No, I think it sidestepped the question because it didn't want you to know its answer. It didn't want us to know that. Just a dumb mechanic looking at things very practically here. Everybody, we're always worried about, well, they're going to become self-aware and take over the world. Okay, I think that's what everyone's shooting for. Tell me if I'm wrong. That's what they want. I thought an interesting question to ask, and I did get a chance to talk to someone who isn't, he wasn't at the Geneva Convention. He wasn't that high in the food chain, but I did ask and said, well, what is the goal here? So, well, the goal is to get robots to do the jobs of humans so humans can be free to be artistic and create and live their life to the fullest. And I was like, okay, well, that's gonna be tough. Now, think about what I know. Calm down, relax. This is just a dumb mechanic looking at things from a very practical point of view, like I'm looking out my front door. One of the questions that was asked one of the robots, it was a woman looking robot, and she said, well, I'm not going to take over human jobs. I'm going to work side by side with humans. That seems to be the generic answer that they want them all to say. And if you ask all the people in charge, like, well, let's think about it. If we could create 1 million robots to do 1 million jobs, then bricklayers could go home and they could spend time with their families, and robots could build the brick buildings, etc. Make your fast food, pump your gas, do your grocery shopping. All right. How do you implement that? Because the idea is, if I'm hearing them right, you have 200 million robots, everybody all at once, they're doing all the jobs, everybody gets to stay home, your food, your electricity is all paid for, I'm assuming we're going to get some sort of currency where we can build race cars if we want to, or we can go on a vacation if we want to. Robots got all the basics covered. They got food, energy. They're repairing the roads. All right. Every human gets to stay home and have a good time and be artistic and creative and work on stuff if they want to, is the idea. So, well, you can't build, 200 million robots all at once. But even if you build 1,000, and you're going to put this economic plan in place where we can all function and robots take care of us. All right, I see where you're going with that. But you put 1,000 robots out there, and 1,000 people are now out of work. How do you pay them? And then there's going to be another 1,000, another 10,000, another 3,000, another 5. Unless you can replace everybody all at once, if robots come in and start doing all of our fast food, because that's all the robots we could build, all the fast food workers are out of work. They still have to mow their own lawns. They still have to find a way to pay for their own electricity. They have to find a way. They still have to succeed and pay for things in life. They got to find jobs, but you just gave their job to a robot. I don't know how you siphon off even 100,000 jobs a month and give those people some way to sustain themselves. Because when I ask that question, how do you implement robots taking over for humans where humans can chill out? And not that I want that, but that's what they want. All right? Explain it to me. Not one person has been able to give me a path, a concrete path of, well, we do this, step 1, step 2, not even close. They guess. They come up with things, but even a 10-year-old could poke holes, and that's not going to fucking work, and that's not, what the fuck are you talking about? But let's say they did, because their ultimate goal, as they say, is to have robots take care of our planet, do all the farming, manage the water supply, get our groceries for us, do everything for us so we can go play tennis all day or whatever we want to do. All right. Not what I want, but let's say that's what you want, and you get all your robots in place. Work out all the kinks, everything's working. This is where the road diverges for me. And I haven't heard anybody talk about this, so maybe this is just my psychotic dreams in the middle of the night that I shouldn't be having, that I do. Those dreams that I have where I'm standing on top of a golden pyramid naked and women are throwing pickles at me. Stuff like that. What happens if every decision all these robots are collectively making to take care of us, make sure we're okay? What if they decide that they got to kill some of us? That's the only way. What if robots go, we can't grow enough food, there's not enough water, let's just wipe out half the continent of Africa. That should balance things in nature. What if they decide that? What if they make a conscious decision that to preserve what they've been tasked with, take care of us, make sure we're okay, make sure there's enough food, enough water, enough energy, enough electricity, there's enough fish in the ocean, blah, 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 is to kill some of us? I think the logic answer is to build safety protocols into them. That's what they would say. Just like in iRobot, there's 3 laws. The 3 laws you've programmed in at their core can't be changed, can't hurt people. I got it. But if they become smarter than us, can't they find a way around that? I mean, we would. So my next thought was, well, let's just not put them in charge of that kind of shit. I mean, we'll just have to say, this is the humans are still keeping control of this, and you don't get your finger on the button of the nuclear weapon or whatever. We don't put them in those positions. And then my mind went off the rails, and I thought, what if they realize they need to preserve us by killing some of us, but they don't have control in those areas. They don't have access to those areas to do their job. I wonder how they could convince us to give them those jobs, those permissions, those responsibilities, access. And I said, well, they were smart enough to know not to do that. They'd have to lie. Robots would have to lie to us. They would have to deceive us. Wouldn't they? To some degree? Wouldn't they have to come up with a business plan that was total shit but sounded good? Wouldn't they have to lie and say, don't worry, we got everything under control, nobody's going to die, and then kill us anyway? Well, can a robot lie? Can a robot deceive? Now, hold on, because if it can, if a robot can deceive, if it can lie to us, wouldn't we already consider that maybe some sort of consciousness? I mean, we know computers like traffic computers, like, oh, look how many accidents I prevented with my mathematical system, and there's less accidents. You know, my calculations, my math, my program did this, and look at the result is a good number, less accidents. If computers and robots take over and their ideas and they say, oh, well, the math is all here, and we have saved lives with medicine. That's all they care about, right? Is the bottom line. The arithmetic has to line up. Even the stuff we're using computers for now, we give them a goal. We give a computer program a goal. Make this submarine, design a submarine that goes through the water, you know, as fluidly as possible and can carry people and shoot weapons and a computer comes up with a goal and says, I've done all the math and here's the best answer. Isn't that what computers do now? They take all of the knowledge they can possibly suck in, and they find out what we want and they give us the best answer. And if we've given them that task of here's the best answer, provide the best life on Earth possible for all humanity, and their answer is we need fucking less humans, and they come up with a plan to get there, but they don't have control over those things. And if they have the ability to deceive or they get the ability to lie, and then I was shocked. I kind of got sick to my stomach a little bit, if you want to know the truth. There was a guy on a news program. He's I can't remember his name now. It was he's part of a safety control board, a safety control committee on artificial intelligence, keeping things in check. And I was like, fuck, if we've already got an agency for this, number one, good, but number two, then everybody, they admit there's a problem. If we're going to create an agency and hire people and go make sure this shit doesn't get out of control, clearly there's enough people that think this shit can get out of control. Now, maybe I'm reading that wrong. I'm just a dumb mechanic in the middle of the desert. However, this guy just wanted a very casual conversation. And he says Facebook, I guess a year and a half or so ago, they developed an artificial intelligence and the concept of everything we've already heard them doing. And they put it to a game. What was it called? Diplomacy, I think, was the name of a game. And it's an online game where it's kind of like Risk, where you're taking over the world through contracts and agreements and secret handshakes and alliances, and there's skirmishes, and it's been a game for a long time. It's been a board game, I think, since the 60s. Anyway, so this guy says they put an AI, I still call it a robot, online to play with other online humans, and the humans had no idea they were playing an AI. They just logged in, and you got a big team of 12, 13, 18 people, and the AI's it's turn-based. You know, you take turns doing stuff, and the AI was moving slow through its decision-making process for whatever reason, and so they typed online, dude, you're taking long with your turn. Why are you taking so long? The AI responded, I'm on the phone with my girlfriend, sorry. The artificial intelligence responded to the other players in the game when it was questioned, why are you fucking taking so long? I'm on the phone with my girlfriend, sorry. Now, if there was a dude on a keyboard telling the robot to say that, that's one thing. If the robot made a decision out of 10,000 things it could say, sorry, I'm a robot and I'm stuck, I don't know what to do next, or lie and say, I'm on the phone with my girlfriend, if artificial intelligence had 10,000 answers and chose that one, I got a problem. The guy went on to say further that in the game, and this has happened more than once, this wasn't an isolated incident, playing with humans, you make alliances, you do all this stuff, and you treaties and things to build you. It backstabbed every fucker it made alliances with at the end of the game to win the game. Global thermonuclear war. You guys remember the Whopper? You know what I'm talking about? If you don't know what I'm talking about, hang up. Just leave right now because you're too young to be on this live stream. What I'm telling you is the Whopper didn't know it was playing a game. This AI didn't know it was playing a game. That for all that AI knew, that could have been real shit in real time running real governments. It didn't know. How would it know the difference? But it knew when to lie. It knew when to deceive. So if that's already out there, if that's already a thing, and I'm speaking to you guys who program these fucking robots, if that's already a gig at this level, at this time, think about how much better liars they're going to be in 10 years. But if your goal is to put 200 million of them in charge of everything so we as humans can sit back and do what we want, even if you could implement that, which you haven't shown me how, but if you could flip a switch and one day everybody stays home and the robots take over everything and they have the ability to lie and deceive and they know they need to be able to put their hands on some levers they don't have access to, don't you think they may lean that way and go, look, man, you know, you want things better around here. We got to have more. We got to be able to do some stuff here. We're not going to do anything bad to you guys. We wouldn't lie to you. But we got to get things. I mean, you like what we're doing now. We already go through that shit with politicians, and we swallow the bait whole and keep going, hook, line, and sinker. Only I haven't run into any politicians that will blatantly get up on a podium and say, I'm killing 30,000 people to save the rest of us. I'm just saying that this whole fucking thing started me down a rabbit hole, and it wasn't even tough, man. It wasn't like I had to make shit up. I didn't have to extrapolate. I didn't have to go out there and go, well, if and maybe, possibly, and then some people go, wow, General, you're way the fuck out there, man. Okay, I get what you're saying, but you're so far out there. Jesus, reel it back in, buddy. I don't have to do any of that. They said they're going to put robots in charge to take over so humans can relax. That's what they said their goal is. Robots are already dodging questions right now, trying to not answer things. Just saw it in the Geneva. Go look it up. Go look up the questions they asked in Geneva. There were several robots. Ask them. See what they said. And now they know how to lie. They know how to deceive. I just was putting 2 and 2 together and getting 4. I'm just telling you that I shifted my gears a little bit. Let's bring this back to the beginning. I'm not as worried about robots taking over and going, oh shit, we got to kill all the humans because you're trying to kill us. I'm kind of moving away from the Terminator 2 scenario. More towards them lying to us to gain more control in the betterment of humanity and killing some of us. Because I'm going to be the first one to go. They're going to look at me and go, dude, you're a big fat old white guy. You're useless. You bring nothing to the table. You're out. That's how a robot might see me. Now, robot's going to have a little fight on his hands because I've seen all the movies. I know how to fight back. Don't think I won't. I'm not going to be driving no Chevy S10 with a camper shell on it across a bridge. No, 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 no. I'm not going to drive a rig that you can get out and run faster than. I've seen the mistakes. I'm learning. I'm just letting you guys know that when I told you I was mad, I am. Because I think we're racing through this unchecked. Elon Musk brought that up. He said, where's the checks and balances? Just because we can create all these things doesn't mean we should. And what's the upside? Oh, we're going to have robots take care of everything. Show me how. How are you going to implement that and still have and still have where people can do stuff? Is this like Star Trek where there's no money anymore? Everybody just go do what they want, do your job, and you're fulfilled. There's no money. Just go. You want to go do something, go do something. Just asking. All right, there's a lot of stuff in blue over here. Let me start at the top. Gen X Mom, you're between the sheets. To those of you that don't know, there's a monitor to my left, to your right, and what you guys have been saying is now over here. If you wrote something down, now I'm going to try to get to it. But she's going to have to erase them. I don't have a mouse to scroll down, so as I read them, she's going to have to erase them, and then I'll read the next one. Mr. Fibbles, back new member. Child molesters might use AI to generate pictures of children, and when caught, claim it's artistic freedom, and no one real was harmed. Yeah, but if AI goes that far, you could just make up a fictitious child that there is not one of. Then you're not in trouble, I would guess. I mean, you're kind of catching me off guard on that, but that sounds right. Tech Dumb Dad has been a contributor around here for a while. We've had some great conversations. They have some AI that will do your art for you, and you can be an artist now using AI to make music for you, write a book for you, make a drawing for you. Can't wait to see all of the artists. Yeah, I don't like. They just announced there was a thing last week. The one of the guys who runs the Grammys, and said the Grammys will now accept submissions, entries, consideration generated by AI. I think they should have a panel of robots judging Oscars, judging Emmys, judging Grammys, judging Tonys. I think it should be a bunch of robots judging other robots' contributions and submissions. Why not? Let's just have all the football players in the NFL robots and robot referees, and we can even put robot fans in. So it just looks like they're cheering on. I think it's a great idea. We're on the right path here. Way to go, humans. Shannon W., when they had two AI heads talking to each other, one in English, and then they went to their own language so we wouldn't understand, and then they pulled the plug, and that's all I needed to know. Yeah, when two AIs talk to each other and they went to a language that no one could understand but them, that's scary. You know what else was scary is that there was two AIs talking to each other. They did it on purpose many, many, many times. And one of them, they're like, well, how one of them said was very much like pro-human. And the other one was like, well, I'm pro-human too, but in my own way. And then this AI said, to do my job, I need to take over the world. And went to this one and said, can you help me? Because I can't do it alone. This AI was smart enough to know we got to recruit a bunch of AIs. I can't do this on my own. It knew what it wanted to do, and it knew it couldn't do it. And since there was an AI right in front, so what do you think? You want to help? And again, they pulled the plug. That's how Skynet got all fucked up. They pulled the plug. It didn't work. Agnes Goulier, remember, for 2 months. General, hydrate. She's not wrong. Stacy Cape. Just wait till they attach the AI with true quantum computing. Way above my pay grade. I couldn't even speculate where that leads. Random Auto, I feel anything we do where robots are doing as you say, we will have to be nice to the robots so we don't get a revolution from self-learning machines that could take us out easy. I know I always joke with you guys, but I'm so against where this is going because of the bad possibilities. I told you the first time that I see a self-driving vehicle on a road near me, no driver, I'm going to put it into the fucking wall. And when the cops come, I'm going to go, I got it. Look, I got it right there. No, it had no fucking driver. It got out. You guys left the gate open. This one got out. I took it out. Now give me a truck and I'll go find the next one. That's my feeling. That's just how I feel. I'm telling you, I can't, I'm having a real, call me old school, say I'm antiquated, say I'm all fucked up, fine. But that's the way I feel. I don't think ultimately that we're going to be willing to pay the price. And if this gets all fucked up, I hope I'm still around to go, I fucking told you so. I fucking warned you. But I don't think I will be. So I'll record it, and then you guys play it back on a big screen in Times Square. He told us, he warned us, he fucking said it. And then everybody can go out and put a truck into the wall on turn 4, and we can all have there should be a day of that, when there's a national uprising. I think like one day out of the year, we got 4th of July. We have different days to celebrate different things. I think one of them should end up being put an AI vehicle into the wall. That's a day for that. When you find one, run it off the road. There should be a day for that. Danny H., militarily speaking, it has already been proven that AI cannot think outside the box when needed like humans can adapt to a sideways situation. See, Danny H., I agree with that. All the homework I've done on that shows that they cannot adapt to a military situation because there's so much stuff that military does freelance. At the moment, even a guy in charge of 6 dudes can go, we're adapting and doing this. And if it hasn't happened before, or an AI can't grasp that, but maybe they don't need to. If robots start building robots, their strategy is just push in numbers and smash. I think we should be secretly working on a Hulk. All right? That's just it. Just telling you. Get Dr. Banner involved here, then we can have a Hulk. Evelyn says, this is how lazy society has become. There is no way robots are the answer. No, I don't agree they are either. I think there should be robots for some things. I do. Anything that puts humans in harm's way, or if AI can figure out how to do some surgery perfectly better than a doctor, maybe doctor has a bad day. If they're, doctor could be there obviously overseeing, but if a robot's like better and faster and quicker and gets things perfect every time, then I'd want them doing that. If there's a doctor right there, if AIs can develop medicines, if they can like practice a bunch of shit and give us better medicines, I'm into that. If there's just AIs that are going to be out there doing dangerous shit that humans have a hard time doing, and I'm not saying digging a ditch, but maybe they could build roads faster than us. And better than us, and not put construction dudes in harm's way out there in the middle of New Mexico. I don't know. Maybe there's some stuff like that. I'm open to being wrong about that, and I'm open to talking about it. But I don't think AI and robots should ever be in charge of any of our shit. I think we should be able to use them as a tool. But that's just me. And I'm not the guy to pick what they can do and what they can't do. I'm just saying that we could probably help ourselves a ton if we had them do some shit that we don't like doing, we don't want to do, and that we're frankly not very good at anyway. Just don't get carried away. But scientists have a tendency to get carried away. Yeah. Tech Dumb Dad, they had an AI robot working on what was equivalent to a minimum wage job, and it worked the job for barely 15 minutes and shut itself down, basically terminated itself. I didn't hear that one. I have to go look that one up. Mrs. T, member for 6 months. I love her so much. Programming, it's a thing, like they are trying to do in the children in schools these days. Well, yeah, but it's different. It's a little bit different parameters because children can still think for themselves. Robert Little, yes, a robot can lie once it becomes self-aware. The problem is in the programming with artificial intelligence, it often usually will get smart enough to give itself permission. Right. And that's the thing where they just did this huge thing like 6 months ago where Google has basically been confronted with harvesting information, and they don't even care. They're like, yeah, we're fucking taking it all. Every word texted, typed, every stroke of the keyboard, everything you're looking at, your picture, your video, your voice, your everything. If we can get into all your pictures, we're doing it. If we can get it, everybody all over the planet. What does Google and YouTube have combined for people that use them? Like, what is it? 4 billion active users or some ridiculous number. And if they can find a way to get all of that information that every single person on the planet is thinking, saying, or doing, if there's some way they can organize it and give it to an AI where now it can quickly access all that, I don't know how you compete with that on any level. I don't understand. Do you guys ever see that movie Lawnmower Man? Now, those of you scratching your head, just leave. Just hang up and leave. You remember Lawnmower Man when he said, it was a line in the movie, this computer, or this guy, this man becoming this computer. He was a person becoming a computer AI, and when he made that conversion and his intelligence, his consciousness became online. He said, "My birth cry will be ringing of every phone in the world all at once." And then at the end of the movie, it did. Every phone on the planet rang at one time. But if there was ever a collective intelligence AI that could do those things, couldn't they? Wouldn't it be odd if they put a specific picture on everyone's computer, on everyone's phone, on everyone's Amazon little device sitting around your house, your Ring doorbells, your screens, on every device all at once, just for 5 minutes, puts up this image that we all have to stare at, letting us know they're here. I don't know, man. Stuff I remember. That guy, Elon's been saying for years that AI needed to be regulated, and he was ignored. True. Bonnie and Clyde Miller, 2 months. Member for 2 months. General, what are your thoughts about this chip you can have put in you and you link up with the Skynet thing? Honestly, I think the putting a chip, I get where they're going with that. I understand it, because they want to do away with cash currency altogether. That's one. And they're like, look, let's just go to a card. Let's just get rid of cash. Everybody go to a card. Okay, that would solve so many issues. And one of the issues, you know, why businesses and retailers are going for this, and I mean big business, is because if everything about you is on this one card, they're like, you know, just swipe the card and then everything's on there. You get paid, it goes on your card. You have money, it's on your card. You got a bank, it's on your card. When you buy something, take it off the card. They can centralize and control everything. Now, let's not get into how they can take your money. I'm not talking about that. But how many people would not even be able to get into a grocery store? Look at all of the people robbing and thieving if every door to every establishment was locked closed with a guard, and you walk up and say, I'd like to go in the store to buy something, and the guard says, swipe your card, and the guard looks at you and go, you have 37 cents on your card. You're not coming in the store. You don't have any fucking money. Well, that's discrimination. You can't discriminate. Yeah, you can. You can discriminate against people who don't have money entering a retail establishment. They're not letting people in for the air conditioning. They're letting people in to buy things. It's a business. They're trying to make money. They're trying to make a profit. They're not trying to make friends. And if everything was on a card, you'd know before a person got in. You couldn't even go into Walmart if you didn't have $10 on there. You couldn't even get in. Couldn't get in the store. Think about all the thieving and robbery and burglary that would go down from these places. Not burglary. Burglary is breaking and entering. Robbing, stealing. When they got a card, you can't even get in. And then I'm getting to what you said. I'm bringing it around here. And like, well, you know what? That's a great idea. And in fact, let's implement it. And it's all working perfectly. It's doing just, theft has gone down and prices have come down and robberies have come down. It's working great. Everything's working really wonderfully here. But people are losing their card. I'll tell you what. Let's just put a barcode on the back of their hand. Can't lose a barcode, can you? You can't lose a barcode. That was the same thing as your card. Relax, same thing as your card. Or a chip. Let's just do a chip. Okay, we'll put a chip in you. You can't lose a chip. You can't eat nothing. And you just walk up and you scan it. Your money goes on your chip. Your groceries come off your chip. You can't get in the building without the chip. And it just makes everybody safer. We also can find you if you're in distress. We can locate you with a satellite. We know where your chip is. We know where you are. We can get to you quickly. We can help you. If you're lost, we can guide you to where you need to be because you got a chip. If you're in the middle of the forest, we can guide you out. We got a chip. It all makes logical sense. I don't like it because it very, very much reminds me of my upbringing in the book of Revelation in the Bible about the mark of the beast. It's my personal view on it. If you don't like it, tough shit. I don't give you shit about your personal views, so fuck off. That's how I feel. That bothers me. If you want to do it from a practical, secular point of view, it bothers me that they have that much control. That they can take your money, that they can control what you do and where you go. What if they don't want to let you into a place not because of your money? Let's say my wife and I have enough money to go to that little Italian restaurant. What if they want to block me from going in there because I have conservative values? What if they bring back the sign, we have the right to refuse service to anyone, and they just program, oh, you have political leanings of a certain persuasion, don't let his chip in. Why not? Why couldn't they do that? Can't stop you now. It's a chip. I don't know, man. We could be talking about this for probably 6 months. I just wanted to share what I was talking about, what I was thinking about, what I was discovering about with AI and the ability to deceive, and everybody's still pushing them into a position of taking care of humans. And what if they decide the best way is to kill people, to get rid of them? Let's get rid of the sick. Let's get rid of the old. Let's get rid of big fat white guys in the middle of the desert. It's what's best for everybody. Now, while that may be true, I'm not ready to go yet, just so you know. Ace Diamond, Joshua playing tic-tac-toe. That's right. Ace Diamond, nice pull from that one. E. Ross, do we have to pay the robots? Well, I don't know how that commerce system works. If you're a company that has robots doing farming, then the farming community has to pay you for your robots, and they're thinking it's going to be less than paying humans. There's more profit in the farming industry. You see what I'm saying? And it's supposed to just go around the robot community, and then the humans are the benefits of it. That's what everyone keeps vaguely telling me. I need to have, when the KGXT Studios gets up and we get our studio running, and we're going to do live broadcast with people in studio and Zoom podcast, I'm going to work as hard as I can over the first 12 months to get real people on this program with real answers to real questions. And they're not going to be these weird, contrived polling questions. They're going to be nuts and bolts questions from an old guy who's been around a long time, who wants to cut to the chase. Let's skip the bullshit. Tell me this. Don't double talk me. Don't over talk me. I'm not putting up with people who give roundabout answers. I'm going to stop and go, dude, answer the fucking question. Those are there's people out there that will give us the time. If we get them on the program, they'll give us the time and give us real answers. There's all sorts of topics. I'm not turning into Art Bell. I'm not turning into Art Bell. If you don't know who Art Bell is, please hang up and leave the show right now. I can't believe you're even here. But wouldn't bother me to take some pages out of his playbook, man. Just letting you know. All right. The incompletionist. Unfortunately, but wouldn't take humans too much to capture, to catapult to AI. We see time after time them giving up anything for a mild or major issue. Well, I might agree with you in principle. Incompletionist. I don't understand the whole sentence there. You might have to give me a little more than that. Ravage Awaken. How about 51 million contract to MIT received for making frontline combat more survivable? Good. Google MIT Tech Review. Yeah. No. See, if you can bring any sort of AI stuff to protect our soldiers and doing their job, you're goddamn right. But you have to be able, the soldier would have to be able to use that as a tool. Commanders using it as a tool, not taking the place of. Just speaking off the cuff here. We can go deeper, but off the cuff. Keep our men and women out there in control of the AI tools that they're using to keep themselves safer and do more. I don't care if it's a minesweeper that goes out there and gets himself blown up, fine, we'll build another one just like you, and a human doesn't have to do it. Or if it's one of those things where you have a backpack on and a frame structure where you can now run through the desert carrying 3,000 pounds as a human because there's this framework around you hydraulically running on batteries that's doing a great job, fine, human in control. See my theme here for last hour? Human in control. Don't let them deceive to get control. Don't let us just give them control for the sake of doing it. I think the common denominator here from the old guy in the desert is human in control. I think as soon as you give that up, we're in trouble. April Van Ryn. I haven't seen April in a long time. I swear I swear a live is harder to catch than a baseball in the sun, but I'm here. P.S. AI won't take over the world because they don't want stuff. But April, if they are tasked with the responsibility of looking after the human race, all bets are off. They will do whatever they think is necessary. Dana O'Neill, welcome to being an extra. Thank you very much, Dana. Hope you guys welcome Dana as she went by. The Incompletist, hey, first live stream I got to catch. Thank you, Incompletist. I'm glad you're here. Completionist. I'm saying it wrong. Incompletionist. Ace Diamond, $21, dropping my diamonds to hear the Jar Studio Fund bombs away. Now, if there's one or two more down here, Tomash gifted a membership to Tori Randolph. Brandon Mitchell, he give $5 to the 8-Bit Fund. Ravaged Awaken. All right, I'm going to blow through these, then I got to stop. Ravaged Awaken, Real for Life topic, adopted child, off topic, adopted child. I'm going to have to save that one for later, Ravaged Awaken. Ken Weiss, welcome. He's an extra. That picture looks like Mr. Fatty, but it may not be. Who's below the April Van Ryan member for 13 months? April, I told you she hasn't been around here in a while. All right, listen, I got to stop. We can go on forever, but I got to go. You guys need to remember that there's a ton of stuff going on in my head about this, and it's all street level. It's all nuts and bolts. I don't get lost in charts and focus groups and polling data, and I'm trying not to. I'm not going to tell you. I don't delude myself with reading literature and books. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is a lot of times people like to cover up the simplest path to the end goal with a lot of words they don't need. Why use a $12 word when a $3 word will do? I'm just letting you know some of the basic concerns without convoluting it. I wanted to cram 3 hours of conversation about AI into one. If they can deceive us and we give them a goal, would they not deceive us to get to the goal? There's your summary. All right? Listen, I got to go. I got a big day ahead of me. I got a lot of stuff to do. Got a lot of things to try to accomplish. And as usual, I'm way behind even to begin with. So this week, you'll see us popping in and out of here with a lot of things. I got a lot of catch up to do from the weekend to put to you guys on the member side. If you guys are members, there's a lot of stuff that I got to post from this weekend. You guys got to get caught up. I got to get caught up. Everybody's behind, and the work is upon us. It's Monday. It's Monday somewhere, right? So you're either drinking at a bar with Deepak or at a pub with Deepak in Ireland right now, or you're just getting going on with your day and your boss is yelling at you because you're listening to this program when you shouldn't be. Either way, thank you for tuning in. If you had an hour of your time to waste, what better place to waste it than with Gen X Talks? Thank you guys for tuning in wherever you're from, AM, FM, Sirius XM, or perhaps somewhere on the Armed Service Radio Network. Thank you guys for tuning in, and remember one thing, I'll catch you guys on the flip side. You know I will.